Ms. Terry, thank you so much. Our final speaker is a former member of the Board of Trustees and a past president, Mr. Mike Mormon. And I think of significant note, Mike is joined today by his wife, Joyce. Mike and Joyce also chaired the Journey Continues, which was the last fundraising campaign tied to the current strategic to the current strategic plan. Mr. Mormon, please.
Thank you, John. Dottie, it's a pleasure to publicly commend you on the job that you have done for these young men at Boys Home. Your dedication to the ministry at Boys Home has been extraordinary. To say the least, I've been honored to have been a small part of that. When I was serving on the board, whenever I had asked you how things were going at Boys Home, the answer always came back in the terms of how the boys were doing, how school was going, how their activities were coming along. Occasionally, a story, a tale or two of woe about some disciplinary problems, but it was always about the boys, nothing else. It was never about building problems. It was all about the boys. I think one reason, Donnie, that you were so successful is that you have an engineering mind. Just as a bridge builder would calculate the strengths that he had to build into that bridge to handle its job, he calculated the strengths that these young men needed to be built into them so that they could handle their job as productive men, and figured out exactly how to do that. One of your classmates at VMI once told me that the graduates of VMI, of his class, were full of very, very successful men who had accomplished tremendous things. But that in his opinion, Donnie had outdone them all in his accomplishments, in his service and ministry to others. Thank you for all the lives you've changed. My wife and I have watched that happen. In the big picture of this life, you have met God's request, and we all thank you. Bonnie, you've been a part of this. Joyce suggests that one thing that you can do to help Donnie in his retirement, who Joyce says is a type A person, and I think she's right, is to keep a large honey-do list for him on the refrigerator. Another way you can do it, as she does with me, is just hand me a note every morning before I leave. The two of us wish you both the very best in your next chapter. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mike and Joyce. We really appreciate all the real insights into Donnie's past. And again, I think just to echo what I said earlier, I think we've all learned a little bit more about Donnie this afternoon. It's just wonderful to hear all those great experiences with Donnie. Boys Home has been a fixture in my family for over 3 generations. So my grandfather spent years supporting and serving Boys Home, and I just learned actually this evening that he actually met Donnie when Donnie was a resident here. My grandfather served as president of the Board of Trustees a couple of times. Fast forward to my mother, when she worked for the Episcopal Church, she represented her bishop on the Board of Trustees. And when she left the church, she came back to the board and ultimately served as president and is now past president. And me, the reason I agreed to serve on the board is because of this man right here. Donnie's passion and commitment for Boys Home is contagious, as you all know. So while the important mission of Boys Home is inspiring, it's Donnie's dedication to the ministry and the complex process of instilling vision, structure, discipline into the young men that go here, so that when they leave equipped to do great things in the world. So Donnie, for that, thank you very much. And now, the important part of the program, I'm going to ask Donnie to come up to the podium and say a few words.
I'll try to make up for Doit.
Before Donnie says something.
Did somebody say something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sit down, Donnie.
Oh, boy.
I'd rather maybe.
Yes, still with my love, I'm telling you.
Ooh, I can't take that light. Donnie, I'm Bob Rose. I coached and taught at Allegheny since it opened. And prior to that, I had a couple of 3 years at Jeter. And unfortunately, I had about 4 boys from the home. Jim Miller, Robert Vaden, I can't remember one, and Donnie Wheatley. And it was a challenge with those 4 or 5 every day, trying to keep them straight. And they did have a little bit of help. Doit over here. Doit, I'll tell you, your wife must be one fantastic cook. You know, you used to be that tall and about that wide. And what happened to you? Golly.
When you run 30 miles every year, she called me.
I take Jimmy Miller and Hinnell and Vaden and those guys, and Donnie played ball for me from the time, well, you were in my PE class in the 8th grade, and then unfortunately I had them for the next 4 years too. Unfortunate for them, because I think they learned what running was all about, sprints and so forth. I think a couple of them wanted to become milers. They wanted to run. They wanted to run for their own, for their business. I don't think that worked though. I do remember the first time I really realized that the spirit and the competitive spirit that was in Donnie was in the 8th grade. And I was teaching down at Jeter, and it was a rainy day, and on rainy days, for PE, we were either in the gym, and if the girls were in the gym, we had to stay in the locker room. And to keep 35 boys in the locker room, for no bigger than that was, for 48, 50 minutes was pretty tough. You had to get something to keep them busy. So I found a couple of games, one of Donnie's favorites, the rope game. We'd take a 2-foot rope and divide the boys into 2 teams. And I let them go for it. Go for that rope for about 5 minutes, maybe 8 minutes occasionally, if they had been pretty active. And then when I blew the whistle, the team that had the most hands on the rope, when I blew the whistle, won it. And they could get the other hands off that rope just about any way possible, and it became a pretty competitive game. And it was a good game for our locker room, because the locker room wasn't that big. And you found out who was competitive and who was not. Donnie was very competitive. I even think a couple of times Donnie bit a couple of the guys on the arm, or to get them to let go of it. But I can't verify that. There was a little bit of biting going on like that occasionally. But he had Jim Miller, Charlie Hennell, Robert Vaden, Doyd Moore, all of those guys. And so they could hold their own. And I will say something that has been said up here earlier. I guess I started teaching in '60, and we had boys from the home down there at Jeter at that time, and Boys Home has really grown and very impressive now. The products that they put out, maybe other than Doyd, are really done a good job and very impressive. Doyd, I don't know where you got that gray hair. You know, my hair is not gray, and you're a heck of a lot younger than I am. But I just wanted to talk, tell you a few minutes about Donnie and about his spirit and about his humility, the way he handled things, and when he with Mary, and now with the I kept thinking, I thought this was his daughter all along. Donnie, you robbed the cradle, huh?
Gotta have somebody take care of it.
That's it. That's you look out for yourself. But I just want to. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. Donnie's done one heck of a job. Like I said, I've been up here with the boys since 1960, since I got out of college, and working with them in schools and so forth, and the home has come a long way, and Donnie has brought it a long way. So, without further ado, and I'll let you get on with the program now, Jim. Thank you.
Donnie, the floor is yours.
I still wish you'd not.
It's a whole lot nicer.
You've got more hair on your head now. Andy May was was my math teacher in the 8th grade. And I got along with her a lot better than I got along with Coach Rose.
He was fantastic. He was a wonderful student.
Yeah. I said his wife, Annie Mae, was my 8th grade math teacher. And I got along with her a lot better than I did Coach Rose. Coach Rose was always looking for some way to make me a runner. He assigned me sprints and laps around the field many a time. So.
Oh, that's not true, Don. You know why you ran around with me.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you all that came up here for not telling the risque stories. There were a lot of them through the years, and I certainly appreciate them not being revealed here today. There are a few of my brother rats here, and I'm glad none of them got up here because there was some really stuff going on at VMI that could have been pretty difficult. 36 years is not a long time. It goes fast. When you have the kind of people, kind of teammates that make this place work. You've got staff. You've got staff. You've got trustees. And you have donors. Some of them are a mixture of 2 and often 3 of those. And that's what makes this place go, a team. That's why it's been here for 115 plus years. And that's why it will be here for another 115 years. I tell people Boys Home is bigger than any single person, but it's not bigger than that team. And I believe in teamwork. And that's what I want to recognize today, the teamwork that made it happen. There are quite a few here that kind of knew me when I first came, but there's a boy and as a director in 1985, but there's nothing I could have done as a single person in that time frame without everybody, without the team. So, if you have been a staff member or are a staff member, would you stand, please? Thank you. If you have been or are a trustee, please stand. Thank you. Now, if you have been or are a donor, please stand. And if you've done any of them, please stand. Good job. Thank you. Now, in order to recognize the team, all of you need to stand. Stand, everybody. So, and now I say thank you to you. You are what makes it happen. You are what will continue to make it happen. And that's the team. Now, they've been waiting patiently over here. So I will say thank you for making 36 years seem like 36 seconds. God bless you. Have a great afternoon.
We have 2 more agenda items, and then we're going to be able to enjoy the great food that the dining hall staff has prepared for us. Let me introduce Chad Whitmer, Director of Program here at Boys Home. Chad is presenting a gift to Donnie on behalf of staff, past and present.
The only problem is I don't have any place to put this in that house. I need to open this. Okay. Y'all do know that we moved from this house, which on the blueprints is 5,700 square feet, to 780 square feet. So I've been allotted 4 square inches. And I have the pool.
Tell me to bring a knife.
Could have got Bonnie, I'm sure she
Elaine didn't tell me to bring a knife.
She didn't. Oh, well. Stories from the Hill. This will be interesting, I'm sure. Thank you all very much. I sure appreciate it. Now can I leave?
One more, Donnie. One more. Bud, please. This is Bud Sim. Bud Sim is a past member of the Board of Trustees and a member of the Boys Home Hall of Fame.
Can you hear me? I sat in the back and I couldn't hear anything, so I just want you to know. Well, I was going to give you something here to the board. I'm going to give a new sound system. No, I've had the honor and the privilege of hanging around with Donnie for almost 20 years now. Yeah. And I've met all you wonderful people and all the wonderful people before, and it's been just incredible. And we got together, a bunch of us, and from the boards now and past, and we have a gift for you. Now, I got this off the internet, but the guy said it was a great deal. I paid a lot for it, but he said if you water this and you get some grow lights, you can actually grow it up to a big car, because I know you need a car because you've been driving a boys' home car for 115 years. So the truth of the matter is that the board is gifting you a car of your choice or a truck. No Italian names, no German names. And you go pick it out and call me and we'll take care of things.
Unfortunately, this is the only one that'll fit.
Buy you a Mercedes now, Mr. Wheatley.
You were supposed to bring one.
Thank you all very much for attending. Or we're going to call an audible and raise the lights. And you're welcome to, well, before, thank you very much to the dining hall staff for all the work you put into this, for the food you're about to enjoy. Thank you very much to the Boys Home staff, Elaine, you and your team, for putting this entire thing together. A tremendous amount of effort. We really appreciate it. So join us for some food and drink, and at 3 o'clock we can continue socializing out in the foyer. They will take apart the room because there's a basketball game this evening at 5:30, and you are all welcome to stay for that as well. So thank you very much. This concludes the ceremony this afternoon.